Since middle school, I was the shorter, loudmouthed kid that could not stop daydreaming about like his 5-year plans that he had written down in his notebook 75 times. Forbes list, a Grammy, cars, like totally humble stuff. Even then, I couldn't shake the feeling that if I didn't reach a degree of greatness, that my life was pointless. It sounds corny, but genuinely, if I didn't get rich, little me might have reached for some lethal shit, to be honest with you. And at 19, here I am betting my entire bank account and my life for the next 3 months on the first step, $100K a month. Three months ago, I made the leap to fly out with a team of my guys to Atlanta for the next 90 days to make the final push to $100K a month. Mind you, 8 months prior, I was in community college handing in a calculus final that I had zero respect for. And so less than 8 months of ditching the classroom, I was putting my ass on a flight with people I had never met before outside of a Zoom call to go work for 3 months in a state I've never been to in hopes of hitting $100,000 in a single month. And right about here is where everyone in my life would call me a dumbass. Now, I don't want this to be a play-by-play because you don't care about that. You want to know, why should you listen to a 19-year-old talk about hitting $100K a month online? Like, what does that even do for you? The answer to which is understanding the difference between serial entrepreneurs and just being a casual. It's the difference between hitting 10K days while playing Rocket League all day and forever being a daydreaming loser in the eyes of your friends, family, whoever you care about, to be real. And so yeah, if that's not on your to-do list, I'd probably go put a Reels scrolling session in. But if not, if it is, sorry, I want to show you some cool shit and the reason why I'm closer than I've ever been. So I hopped on the plane, we had a 5-hour flight ahead of us, and somewhere in the middle of me feeding for them and hand out Biscoff, the reality of exactly how I ended up here finally hit me. The reality that put me on a plane across the country to lead a team to its first 6-figure month. The truth was that this bet to fly across the country was literally nothing special. In fact, it was one of the dozens of choices I had made in the last 12 months that could have sent me right back to zero. At this point, I had invested $20,000 of my own money. I had abandoned college. I clocked in 12-hour days for months before I saw $1 from this shit. And the reality is I owe everything to the fact I continuously placed bets that looked crazy to everyone telling me I should stay in the same place. Average. Every single time I almost went broke, every single time I heard what my friends' parents had to say, every time I was reminded of the risk that I wasn't ready for, I came out alive every single time. Now, going into January, I demoted myself from a sales manager back to a closer. At the time, we had invested so much money into the talent on the team that if we didn't have a record month, we would, 1, lose all the team members, and 2, bluntly, the company would go red. So as soon as that plane hit the ground, I would be greeted with the expectation of collecting enough cash that month to keep the company alive. And mind you, I hadn't taken a sales call for months, so this was some serious last measure shit. But there were stakes. And God damn it, I love gambling with stakes. But we did it. We hit a new cash record. That month we hit our PR of new cash. And along with keeping the company alive, we did it with the biggest month to date we've ever had. And if it's funny, one of the coaches asked me at the end of the month, how do you handle having the weight of the company's existence while you're on these calls? And I laughed because I knew how much more of a team feat it was and the question made it sound like. But I could tell he was more so asking about the pressure, not so much the effort of those calls. I didn't have a cool answer for him at the time, but I think it sat in my brain long enough to come up with a real answer. I love winning more than I hate losing. Because if I just hated to lose, I could not play the game, right? I could just log out and I'd be fine, right? I wouldn't have any dips, I wouldn't have any emotional highs, but I wouldn't lose. But if you love winning more than you hate losing, you have to play the game. I'm obsessed that if I roll enough times, I might actually live up to what little me had in store for us. Fast forward 3 months, we went on to collect a little over $180,000 in those 90 days, and at healthier margins that we've been at for a long time. As I look back on my entire journey, from the moment I deviated from, let's just call it the script, I had an unbreakable assurance in myself, the ability to bet on myself, that if it came to it, I was the type of guy to pull through, to lean on. And every single time that I managed to do it, it was a stack of evidence I could pile to prove to myself that I was actually who I said I was, that I was right. And it looks like I'm about to board, but I had to get that little reflection off my chest now that I'm headed home. The next 12 months, I'll continue to place bigger and bigger bets on myself, my team, and every single time I'll come out alive. Every time.